What's going on? Welcome to Thumb Tacos. My name is Jared. Today I got 22 tips for 2022, getting you ready for the next year of streaming on Facebook Gaming. So make sure you got a pen and paper ready so you can take down these notes. If you guys have any questions on these tips, get them in the comments below and I'll answer them to the best of my abilities with more details. But this video is going to be very quick, spitfire, bam, bam, bam. We're going for it. We're just going for it fast and quick. 22 tips. This is the most tips I've ever crammed in one video. So some of these will be repeats, some of them are new. And these are the best I got for the next year, the things that still work to this day in streaming. As always, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Look, it's not necessarily getting any easier to be a streamer out there. The competition is growing, and these tips can set you up to give you an edge as you grow your streams. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. Tip number 1, watch some solo exercises on improv. I just started talking about this in some of these videos. It's extremely important. It does a lot of good to learn some improvisation. I can't say it. I have a hard time with that word. It's hard to be an improviser, to work off the fly of chat, to come up with good things to go with other things that happen when you're playing a game and something happens and it's fun, or if somebody says something in chat, how to react to it. If you practice these exercises, these things will feel more natural and it'll get you in a rhythm so you can keep talking and keeping that engagement up, and that is important. Tip number 2, pay attention to the color scheme on your Facebook page, on your live stream, your overlays, all your branding. Make sure everything makes sense together. This is really important when you want to seal the whole package together. You want your imagery and your graphics and everything to kind of tell a tale where everything makes sense. You don't want to have too many jarring things or things that don't make sense. So be mindful of how you look as a streamer on your overlays, on your Facebook gaming page, how you're dressing, how you're talking. Everything is branding in this industry. Tip number 3, get a decent webcam. If you're not a webcam streamer, statistically speaking on Facebook gaming in general, not Twitch, not YouTube, Facebook gaming, webcams streamers do better than non-webcam streamers in general on this platform because it's such a social media. It's used to face interaction. So I recommend, if you're going to stream on this platform, get a decent webcam. I use a Nexigo. It's not an expensive camera by any means, and there's a lot of adjustments in OBS to make your camera look a lot better. So make sure you check out your filters and all that stuff on your OBS or OBS Studio. Both of them had this. But yes, get a webcam. It's going to help you out. Tip number 4, if you're going to get a webcam, you got to get some lighting. Get some extra lighting, because lighting makes a crappy webcam look so much better. It's kind of the same thing here. I use clamp lights. I've said this in other videos before. It costs like $5 for them. They're extremely easy, and I have one ring light off to the side here that does a little bit of glow over here. So there's a clamp light back there. There's a clamp light up here. Super easy. You should do it too. If you want to save some money, it's a great way to get better lighting on your stream. I'm colorblind, so it's kind of hard for me to get the balance sometimes, but it's better than going just dry in or default settings. I want you to say this with me. My audio is more important than my visual. You got to get this in your heads. You have to have a decent microphone when you stream. Your audio on your microphone is key. If you have any kind of distracting buzzes, sounds, or weird things going on with your microphone, it's probably holding you back as a streamer. So say it again. My audio microphone is more important than my webcam. I spent $300 on this microphone. I spent $50 on my webcam. Just so you guys understand what I'm talking about here. Let's keep it moving. Tip number 6. Make sure you're streaming in the correct bitrate on your broadcast software. Broadcast software is OBS Studio. If you are not in Level Up, you shouldn't go past 4,000 bitrate for your output. And if you are in Level Up or the higher up, I think it maxes out at 6,000 only on Facebook Gaming. I think Twitch is 8,000. It might be a little higher, but Facebook is definitely lower. So you don't need to overshoot this. The best basic settings that I could recommend for you guys is a 4,000 bit rate for 60 frames per second at 720. That's it. It's lower key, but it balances out nice. It'll look fine for streaming, and it'll get you set up where you still have the 60 of the better frame rate, but you're not over pushing it. All right, let's get to the next tip. Tip number 7. Learn about using filters in OBS. I talked about this before earlier in the video. The filters are settings that you click on the cogwheel, the right click, and you'll see filters. Click on them. You can access different filters. What they are is ways to enhance your audio and visual on your stream. So your microphone, you can actually use compression. You can use a noise gate, so you can block out outside noise. On visual side of things too, you can also use chroma key and green screen and all this extra stuff. You have to toy with the buttons down below on your broadcast software and see what you can do. And don't be afraid to mess with things. Just pay attention to what you are changing so you can backtrack and fix things if they get all weird or whatever. Tip number 8. On OBS or OBS Studio, you can record yourself without actually being live. You just hit start recording. That's actually how I make these YouTube videos right now. I'm recording on OBS. Now what you can do is I want you to practice recording yourself, looking into your camera and talking. Do this for a few minutes, end the recording, don't look at it, come back, revisit the recording, and kind of take notes on how you look, how you address the camera, all the ways that you're talking. Are you having a lot of dead space? Are you looking nervous? Are you doing the not looking at it because you're afraid to look at the camera? These are things that you can practice to get better at engagement with your stream. Tip number 9, set up a Streamlabs account or Stream Elements account to add alerts and customized alerts to your live stream. These are likes, shares, supporters, whatever level you're at. This adds engagement to your stream, so you can have little things pop out and say, hey, thanks for the like, all that kind of stuff. Or you can make customized ones where something funny happens. This is more of a preference one, but make sure your ratio for your stream is actually correct with the gameplay. Now, I'm a retro streamer, so I use 4:3 a lot, but once in a while I'll play a modern game and I set it to 16:9. Basically what's happening here is a 4:3 is like an old school TV where it's more of a square, and then 16:9 is modern gaming where it takes up the whole screen that you're actually seeing here. This would be a 16:9 ratio if you're watching this on your phone or on a TV or whatever. Modern TV setups, it's 16:9. Ratios for retro games is 4:3. Now what happens is if you take an old school game like a 4:3 Super Mario World, Super Nintendo, and you put it at 16:9, you start stretching the image. Now, you can do this, and I see a lot of streamers do this, and it's fine. I'm just saying from my preference and from my own perception, I guess this is a selfish one, I prefer not to see things stretch. It's off-putting, and I imagine a lot of truists are kind of like that too. So it's up to you, but that's kind of like it's a preference thing. But anyway, moving on. Tip number 11, start planning out your streams ahead of time. I've talked about this in other videos too. This really helps you out, be more comfortable and confident in your stream. If you have it set that I'm going to stream this day for this long, and we're going to talk about this, you're going to be so much more comfortable sitting down and hitting that go live than when you go and you just like, oh, here we go. And I've done it, guys. I'm not immune to making these mistakes where I go off the seat of my pants. If you go live without a plan, it definitely is a gamble. Sometimes it works out great, but most of the time, anytime I'm prepared, I usually have better streams. Anytime I'm not prepared, it's a coin flip whether or not it's going to be a decent stream or not. So take that information, try practicing it, and see how far you can take it. How much can you plan out? How good are you at planning out your live stream? Because the better you get at it, probably the better your streams are going to go overall. Set your chat reference somewhere where it's easily visible, so when you're playing your game, you can see it move. This is incredibly important, especially for new streamers. If you're streaming and your chat moves and you can catch it and engage with new chatters as soon as you see it, you're going to do so much far better than people that don't notice it. And then they're like, oh, hey, I got a bunch of messages I got to go through. Trust me, this is extremely important. Your chat is number one. There's no way around it, especially in the beginning. When you become a huge, massive streamer, yeah, then you can ignore chat a little bit or pop in whenever you want to, but you're not there yet. If you're watching this, you certainly are not there yet. So pay attention to your chat. Tip number 13. Set up a schedule, post your schedule somewhere on your Facebook header or somewhere where anybody coming to your page can easily say it, and then mention your schedule while you are live. Schedules are that important. They are that powerful. If you want to get recurring viewers and you have a broken schedule, kind of like myself, where I don't stream every single day at the same time, it's important to have a schedule so people know when you're going live. It's a very, very simple thing to do. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, I don't have time to put a schedule up. Look at your schedule and prioritize to see if you can find a window where you can consistently be streaming, because anybody I know that has consistent scheduling does better in streaming than somebody that does it randomly. If you can't do it, that's fine, because it's still better to stream than to not stream at all if you want to be a streamer. But I'm just saying there is that gap there, or that difference of consistency helping your viewers watch you live. Next tip. I want you to ask yourselves as a streamer, why would anybody want to watch your stream? Why would somebody coming off of Facebook's algorithm that got thrown in front of you, why would they want to watch your stream? It's a kind of a deep, hard question. But if you know the answer to it, every time you go live, answer that question for them and you will have better streams. I know that seems like kind of a cryptic way of putting it down there, but ask yourself that question and then think about what you want to bring to the table. And then when you go live, bring it to the table and you will have better streams. Tip number 15. Watch other streamers, chat with other streamers, engage with other communities, but don't do it in a self-promotional way. Get a feel for it. Watch other streamers that are massive. Watch other streamers that are small. get a feel for what streaming is. This is how you can find inspiration for ideas. Now, it's not about poaching somebody's idea. It's about, hey, I really liked how that worked with their stream. What can I do to reflect my own personality into that kind of concept? So using like I watched the Retro Death Row on Twitch, and when I first started streaming, I noticed that he had stars videos. So when people donated stars, he'd play a funny video or whatever. So I took that and took my personality and had goofy videos for stars when they would donate to my stream. It's things like that to help you grow your stream. Another shout out for Steve there. He's a good buddy. Now we're going to talk about the don'ts. I'm just going to say them, and it should be self-explanatory. If not, like I said, get in the comments. And if you haven't yet, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I do these videos weekly. The don'ts. Don't self-promote. Don't ask for money. And don't complain on stream. I am guilty of the third all the time. I complain on stream, my numbers go down every single time because I'll get in a bad mood or I'll be playing a game that just is kicking my butt. Anytime, even if it's game-related negativity, tends to drop viewership. So don't do it. Those are the 3 don'ts. Write them down. Don't forget them. Don't. See what I did there? All right, next tip. Tip number 19, try to grow an audience on other social medias, but not by using your gameplay content. We talked about this recently in the last couple of weeks with Saberoth Gaming, where his TikTok started blowing up because he was making the relatability or the bridge gap between dad gamers and him as a streamer. He wasn't blatantly saying, hey, I'm a streamer. He was more or less putting himself on social media that, hey, I'm a dad gamer. And there's plenty of dad gamers out there that can relate to his content on TikTok. Therefore, he got new viewership for using something else other than his live stream to grow. This works on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. It works if you can find a breakthrough content avenue that isn't exactly related. My TikTok is garbage. I haven't figured it out yet, but I run YouTube for this. I like helping out streamers. Therefore, I make these videos, and occasionally some of you come visit the lives. It works out. We have a chat. I can talk to you live if you guys want to. My link's in the description below. Now, what are you going to start building besides your live stream? Maybe it's a Discord. Maybe it's a Facebook group. Maybe it's Instagram. Whatever. There's no wrong answer to this. You just got to keep testing the waters and figure it out. Okay, tip number 20. You need to be yourself when you live stream. Gimmick streams do work, and there's always exceptions to the rules. But if you can be yourself, be comfortable in that seat when you go live, you're going to find yourself happier and better at streaming because you won't have to put on a mask. You won't have to be fake. You can just relax, do the games that you want to play, talk to the people the way you would talk to a normal person, open up, talk about your life, talk about what you got going on. The more you open up and the more you seem like a human, the better things can work out as far as building community strengths. I know Twitch is a little different in this because you could be focused on the gameplay, and that's fine. And even on Facebook Gaming, you can be an excellent gamer, and that's maybe the type of stream you want to grow. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not telling you not to do that if you're good at it. But if you're good at a game, but you're not the best of the best, there's thousands of other people that are in your shoes. So the best thing you can do, especially on a social media like Facebook Gaming, is open up, be yourself, and really reach out to people while you're chatting with them or whatever. Find relatability, find common ground, all those things strengthen a community and will bring viewers back. Tip number 21. Pay attention to the games that are trending, but also kind of watch those middle ground games that all of a sudden kind of have a spike randomly. You'd be surprised at how many times I've tested the waters with games that I didn't think were going to get me any growth, and then all of a sudden, bam, I got a bunch of new followers just from trying something different that just seemed to be hot with other streamers at the moment. Example is like if one of the partnered streamers is playing a game that has no traction, if there's nobody else streaming that game, you could go in and stream it, and you're going to show up, and maybe other people will trickle into it because it grabs attention. The algorithm on Facebook is really bizarre this way because it doesn't just work as you going live and them throwing people at it. It goes by waves of how a game works, too. Like, you might look at a game, and it's got 3 viewers, right, on the Facebook Gaming app, but if you look at it, it's got 200,000 followers. So what happens if those people aren't occupied, the algorithm will push for you to be there. So you can get reach even though a game doesn't have viewers necessarily. It's more about the followers. I use the retro tag from time to time. Sometimes the retro only has like 17 viewers. I'll go live and I'll start peaking in the 40s and 50s as far as viewers go. It's that simple. It's just a matter of how many followers it has. So don't be afraid to experiment a little bit. You do get less reach if you do a lot of variety, but if you're just starting out, it's worth experimenting in this end, at least in my opinion. If you've stuck through all these tips, thank you for one. Most important tip I got for you guys. Learn how to self-evaluate. I've brought this up in other videos. I keep talking about it. I can't help anybody unless they're willing to try to help themselves. And if you're watching this video and you made it to the end of this video, then you are at least at the first step of that, self-evaluating. You know there's something you need to improve on. You're trying to find somebody to help you out with that. I'm here. You guys can comment, message me directly on Facebook. I take as much time as I can to help out anybody that's ever reached out to me. And until I can't do that, I'm going to continue to do that. So feel free to ask for help. But if you guys are not willing to look at your own streams and recognize some of your issues, I can't help you. Only you can do that. Only you can look at something and be like, okay, my camera looks like shit. My voice sounds bad. My gameplay is skipping. I have lag issues. I don't have branding. I don't have a schedule. These are the things you need to look at. It's not just the gameplay. The less you focus on the gameplay, the better you can self-evaluate and improve you as the streamer. That's why streaming exists, because you're in the hot seat, you're sitting there, you're going to entertain beyond the game that you are playing. I wish you guys well. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys want to consider subscribing, I would greatly appreciate it. That way you can keep up with my weekly content. I'm making us all better streamers. These videos come from my own experiences. It's 2022. It's a brand new year. I wish you guys well. Good luck.